This is my final review of the Japanese drama Erased. If you can see on my channel, I also have reviewed the anime, or will review if this video comes out first, so you can check out both of those reviews this week. I watched both of them. This is actually a rewatch for me. I watched this when this first aired, and I don't know if my thoughts have changed since the first time I watched it, but we will get into that. This is my final review of Erased, the Japanese drama that aired in 2017 on Netflix. The J-drama Erased aired on Netflix December 2017. It has 12 episodes. It stars Furukawa Yuki as Satoru when he was an adult, and then we have Uchikawa Ryo as Satoru when he's a child. Those are the main two people. I mean, they're the same person. They're the star of the show. Other people you might recognize is Korotani Tomoka. She plays his mother. And then we have Tatsuki Shigeyuki. He plays a teacher. And then some of the other people are Yuki Mio. She plays a co-worker of Satoru's. And Shiyasu Jin plays a older version of a friend of his in school. This has 12 episodes, and really quick synopsis of this if you don't know what this is. It is about a man, 20-something-year-old guy. He is an aspiring manga artist. He has the ability to time travel, and mostly it's like short time bursts. If he encounters a life-threatening incident, he can go back 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour to hope to avoid that incident or save that person if they're in that incident themselves. And at the start of the drama, his mother gets unalived, and he attempts to go back in time to save her. And when he does that, he accidentally goes back 18 years to when he's an elementary school student. So that's why we have an older version of him and a younger version of him in this drama. The entire drama is him trying to figure out why he went back 18 years and what that has to do with his mother's death. And he eventually finds out that there was a series of kidnappings when he was a child, and now he has to investigate and possibly save those people from kidnapping as an elementary school student. Particularly one person, one girl. This is a rewatch for me. I watched this in 2018. It came out in December 2017. I watched it like January 2018 or something. I love this Japanese drama, so this review might be a little biased, but I still wanted to do a review because it is an older Japanese drama. Maybe someone has not seen it. Maybe they haven't heard of it. It's one of the first Japanese dramas, or Asian dramas really, that Netflix has on its service. I think it's one of the first I ever saw on its service. So I figured since I rewatched it, why not do a review on it? The format of my review is I'm going to do what I liked and then what I disliked. And definitely I forgot a lot about this drama. As I watched this, I remembered, but I forgot a lot about it, or I remembered differently than what it actually was. I rated this a 9 out of 10 when I watched it in 2018, and I still will stick to that. It's not a perfect drama, but it has a lot of potential, and I liked the format of it. All right, the first stuff that I liked about this drama. One is I'm a sucker for time travel. Give me time travel in any scenario and I will probably like the drama. I thought this time travel was really unique because in some ways it could be hilarious that he goes back 10 minutes and it could turn into a comedy type thing, but because this is a crime drama and because it's a little more serious, it's taken a little more seriously, and it actually helps in the scenarios that they give examples for, and they explain his powers. I do wish, though, that they gave a little more explanation and background on it, because they say he has these powers, but they never give the full extent of why they started maybe, or when they started, or if they stopped and how they stopped. They just said he has these powers and this is how it works. I don't know if the manga gave a little more explanation. I've never read the manga. I wish there was a little more explanation, a little more background on his powers, but I thought his powers was unique and I was not expecting the type of power that he has. Granted, it's just going back in time. Once he gets back to 18 years when he's an elementary school student, there's nothing really supernatural about it until he time travels. The other thing, the cinematography really stands out to me in this J-drama. I loved especially the snow scenes, and there's one particular scene where the two leads as kids, so we got Satoru and then we have Kaio. Kaio is the girl. They go up to a tree in the forest. And that scene with the night sky and the stars and the trees and how that's shot is just beautifully done, in my opinion, and is one of the more memorable scenes of this J-drama. And so I loved the color grading on this J-drama because Kaio was wearing a red jacket and red backpack throughout the entire drama. And how they color graded this drama is to show that off, really, and it comes out in the posters too. I thought the choices with the cinematography and the color grading really made this drama stand out and unique because they even did some color grading work between when he was in Tokyo when he was an adult versus when he was a child in the village and time traveling and things like that. I thought that was really well thought out and good. It made it unique and stand out. Overall, because I watched the anime before rewatching this, I overall thought the J-drama adaptation, which came out after the anime, was a faithful live adaptation to the anime up to a point. Definitely took some liberties compared to the anime and added some things, especially towards the end. And now I have read that it's actually more faithful to the manga than the anime was, because I read that the manga was not finished when the anime was made, which I thought was interesting. I guess that's not uncommon to happen. I mean, I know it's happened here in the United States with shows that we've done ourselves, but up to a certain extent, it is very faithful to what the anime is until probably the end. I actually prefer this ending than the anime, which I talked about in my anime review. I prefer this ending, and apparently it's closer to the manga ending, so now I'm curious if I should read the manga. But I still felt it was a fairly faithful live action adaptation and also a good one in comparison to some of the others that we've gotten. I thought the child actors and the adult actors fit their characters from the anime. I thought they found a really great cast. Of course, they acted very well. Some of the costume choices, especially with the facial hair, were a little questionable. I'm not trying to do spoilers on this. There was obviously one character was wearing a fake beard, so it made sense that it didn't look good, but I thought that was a choice that I don't know if it was really needed, but it is what it is. Overall, it was good. I love the OSTs of this J-drama, but I guess they never released them. So I wish they had because I wanted to add them to my playlist and listen to them, but apparently they've never been released officially, which I guess is common when it comes to Netflix dramas up to a certain year. I wish they had released the OSTs because they are fairly good and they're memorable and they're impactful. Going back to the acting, I thought the acting was fairly good, especially with the younger cast. I thought they did exceptionally well. The younger actors really stood out to me just due to the hard subject matter that they had to act out in this J-drama. Speaking of that, I also love the themes of found family and friendship in this. His mother is a saint. And I love her for it. The way that she just embraced these children running in and out of her house and could tell that there was something more going on and fully supported her son in everything he was doing and had his back 100% of the time. I loved her character and the warmth that she gave from her household and just created this safe haven, created this found family amongst these children that was heartwarming. It was a very tough subject matter, which I'll talk about in the negatives, but there were these bright sides, especially with her and the found family, and also just the friendship that was established with these kids and what they were trying to do in saving particular characters from these kidnappings and playing detective, as they said. I loved those themes and I loved watching that and those heartwarming moments against the more troubling parts of this Japanese drama. So what did I dislike? For me, it wasn't an issue because I knew about it going in and I am a crime drama person, but for other people, I just have to say there's a trigger warning for child abuse and child neglect and child death and crimes against children in this. So if that's something that you can't handle and don't particularly like, I would not recommend this because you do see things. It's not like overly violent or anything, but it's implied a lot of the time, and you usually see the results of it. It is a hard subject matter to deal with, and that might not be for everybody. Also, if you are a fan of the anime, you might not like the stuff that they added to the drama. As I said, I did not mind the stuff they added. I actually preferred it over the anime, but some people who might like the anime more will not like what was added to this drama, but I heard it's more faithful to the manga. Apparently the manga was finished by the time that the drama was made versus the anime, so they went more faithful to the manga. But that's kind of a personal preference if you prefer the ending of the anime or the ending of the drama. Again, I'm not doing any spoilers or anything. As I said too, I wish there was a little more explanation with his power, but it was fine because you were more interested in mystery stuff, but I personally wish there was a little more explanation with the power, especially with how it started. The last thing I will say, the time travel was the 20-year-old self, Satoru, time travels into his elementary school body. He has the elementary school body with a 20-year-old mind. And I felt like sometimes he wasn't acting like he had a 20-year-old mind. Some of the choices he made were just dumb. And I saw this in the anime as well, so I made the same critique in the anime. A lot of these characters were not acting their age. It didn't make sense, especially him, but other children were not acting their age in some moments. Whether that was him having a 20-year-old mind in a child's body, or it was a child in elementary school acting like they were a 20-year-old, like one of his friends. It sometimes did not make full sense when you encountered that, and he just looked dumb. It was known to the audience that he had a 20-year-old mind with experience and more logical thinking than you would as a child. And so some of the decisions he made just did not make sense if you had an adult mind in your head. That was one of the biggest critiques I had, just because some of the decisions he made didn't make sense if he were to have an adult mind. But overall, I highly recommend this Japanese drama. I gave it a 9 out of 10. This might be a little biased rating because I loved it, and this is actually a rewatch, but if you like crime Japanese dramas and you have not seen Erased, I can't emphasize enough that you are really missing out on this gem of a Japanese drama, and I would highly recommend you check it out. It's on Netflix.